It is the Smartman Show with Brian and Nate. I am Nate.
I am Brian, and I can't believe we actually made it to a third episode. Yeah! Commitment.
I mean, it really isn't by popular demand. We just planned on it anyway. But I mean,
nobody has to know that, though. You could literally lie and say, we've gotten 1,000 letters of fans already in 2 weeks in.
Man, what would happen if we would say we're only doing an episode 3 if we get a huge response? And
well,
then,
we wouldn't be doing an
I was gonna say
3.
Podcast might take shape around episode 49 or something. You know,
what?
you never know.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't care. As long as you and I are having fun, that's all that matters.
We're clearly not very smart, but we're trying to be smart. But it is the Smartman Show. A few segments, including homework assignments, where I did watch the movie Torque. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and I failed, so.
It's not a failure because we're not held down to any sort of like deadlines on this show. It's kind of whenever you can get these things in.
I feel bad, that's all.
What is very interesting, and we're going to start with Foist, is the Jason Kelce story.
It's kind of a crazy one.
Crazy in what way?
I don't know, man. I feel like people, this is proof that people are getting way too comfortable talking crap to somebody's face.
It is, you wonder how much of that social media has actually encouraged, I feel like there's a lot of that social media has given people the freedom to say whatever they want.
Yep.
I feel like, because I don't know if this is it's got to be just a regular dipshit, right? It's not, is it paparazzi who are the worst scum form of humanity? Probably.
They were clearly trying to make him angry. They wanted a reaction for it to be on video. And
right.
They got it, but they didn't get what they thought.
How much do you think those guys, or this video got sold for to TMZ? How much? I have no idea, the frame of reference, how much these videos sell for.
Well, the guy who did it, I don't know if he got any money because that wasn't the fun video to watch. The fun video to watch was actually the guy having his phone destroyed.
No, we're going to watch that.
Let's set the stage. Jason Kelce, his brother's Travis Kelce. They both play in the NFL, or Jason did. He retired last season. Travis still plays, and Travis is also in the spotlight quite a bit because his girlfriend is Taylor Swift, one of the biggest stars in the world. Regardless if you like her music or anything like that, she is a massive celebrity. Probably
She's biggest. On the level of the biggest celebrities of all time, I would say.
Yeah. 100%.
It's global.
And I guess this guy was like, I don't know if I don't know for sure he was trying to provoke it, but clearly he thought he was going to get away with getting into Jason Kelce's face and then saying that his brother was a homophobic slur word for dating Taylor Swift, which makes no sense, number one, because he's a man dating a woman. So using a homophobic slur there is kind of stupid. But to think that Jason Kelce, this guy can rip a normal human being.
He's a large fella. He's one of the
half.
Greatest centers of all time, and he only retired last year or this past year. Right. So he's a large, strong dude who is very good at being violent. You got to be. Let's watch this video here in a second.
Yeah.
I don't know how big this dude is that was taking the video, but you got to be kind of dumb.
Really?
You really have to be stupid. There's got to be alcohol fueling that, first of all.
I don't know. I will say this. Jason Kelce is such a large man. I feel like if he wanted to, he could take a normal human being, put them in a bear hug, and have you ever taken a tube of toothpaste and rolled it up?
Squeeze it right out of you.
Just pop right out of you. I feel like he could do that to a person.
Yeah. Let's watch this video probably several times because it's great. There's people that will say, there's going to be people on the side of this argument that are going to say, Kelce, that think Kelce should be sued or maybe been arrested for grabbing this guy's property or something along those lines.
Right.
There's going to be those a-holes that say that. But it is really satisfying watching him.
It is.
Kelce.
How does this even start?
Kelce.
Hey, Kelce. How does it feel your brothers is back at Taylor Swift?
Kelce, can I get a fist bump? Kelce, can I get a fist bump?
Boom. I didn't hear what he said. I know what he said, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a bro gets. Ah. I mean, you can't hear it, but there's probably people that will attest to what he said, and he heard him. And
There's
I'm not
video.
saying he didn't say it.
There is video out there
Okay.
somewhere of him saying what he said. He basically said, how does it feel to know your brother is, insert the slur,
Yeah.
for dating Taylor Swift? I just can't fathom anybody walking up to somebody and saying that.
No, because again, other than like somebody in your own personal life and you had an argument and you hate that person, I could see that in real life happening. It doesn't happen very often, I'm sure. But just anybody, they're dating somebody that you've heard something about and just going to go up and start talking shit.
See, I think people forget, Smitty, that for like celebrities, okay, we know them. Maybe we think we're buddies with them because we watch all their movies and that we can get away with saying things because we watch their movies or their sports, events that they're playing in or concerts that they're putting on, whatever the case may be. They don't know who you are, okay? It's never a situation where they know you as much as you know them.
Right. No, I feel, and honestly, us being on the air and doing something in a public nature.
Yeah.
How many times have you been approached by like a listener who brought up something you said, feels like they know you because they've heard you on the radio, and then you feel like you got to be exactly that same way.
Yeah.
And it's on a way grander scale.
Oh yeah,
these guys and Jason Kelce and Taylor Swift and all that shit.
Yeah, I can give you one example, and this guy has called me back at least once since it happened. I was at an event, and I'm a big dude, and that's okay. I make jokes about my weight on the air and stuff like that. But this guy, I get knocked out of what I'm in, and as I'm walking out, he's like, "Where you going, fat boy?"
Oh my God.
And
when and how long ago?
It's got to be 12 years ago. All I know is I ended up pushing him up against a wall and thinking I was going to get fired the next day or arrested because I put my hands on him. But
and was that an event? You said it was at an event.
Yeah, and I was like, "You don't know me. You don't talk to me like that." And that was, and it was a couple of years later. I was like asking something on the air about what's something you did that you regret, and I got this call, and he's like, "Yeah, one time I said something I shouldn't have to a guy on the radio, and he got really pissed off." And I'll never forget it, dude. Like, I will never forget it. It's a core memory now. I'll be 93 years old and still remember him.
We talked last podcast episode where we were talking about, when is it okay to call somebody out on their shitty behavior, and that's like when are you going to risk getting shot?
Yeah.
And in that fucking moment, dude, honestly, because what happens if you can effectively point out someone's shitty behavior in a way that makes it awkward and embarrassing.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to deal with bullies in general.
Well, there was a group of people around.
Exactly, because you got to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
That's really the thing. And if you could do that effectively, it really changes. That's how you change bullies' mindset and shit.
I mean, I hope he does actually feel bad about it in my situation. With this situation here, this guy don't care because he's about to make money. And you know what? I'll be honest. Jason Kelce, I don't think he cares either. Okay, I'll settle with you. Here's $20,000 and a new phone. I still made you look like a bitch in front of everybody.
And he really did, because there's chances that this guy's gonna sue Jason Kelce.
Oh yeah,
damages, blah, 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 things like that.
Yep.
And he could very well win. At the very least, maybe a new phone, which he shouldn't owe him. That's on you. At that
stuck
point,
it in his face.
If somebody takes. What are we watching? Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah.
So this is the scene in Ted Lasso where paparazzi's taking photos. And, I mean, are you justified taking a camera away, taking somebody's property away, if they're taking photos of you that you didn't, A, ask for, you didn't give permission for, and are going to make you look horrible?
Technically, I know the law is if you are on public property, they can record you, they can, whatever the case may be.
Law.
It is, it really is. But that being said, when you look at the comment section for any of Jason Kelce's videos being posted, my favorite thing is the commenters are saying things like, I didn't see anything except him pick up a phone that somebody dropped on accident and hand it back to him.
There you go.
Or Jason Kelce. Look at him. He's such a nice guy. That guy's phone was overheating, and he took it out of his hand so he didn't get 9th-degree burns, is what they said.
And honestly, he spiked it so well. It just like he scored a touchdown and
Football,
picked up
baby.
a fumble, went into the end zone, and spiked that thing so hard. It was so satisfying. Like, I'm trying to think if there were... Has he done that before? Didn't that happen last year with the Kelces?
I don't know. I know he's talked about a lot. He generally overall seems like a nice guy.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it's
You know?
him. I'm saying, especially, like, I could see this happening to him way more now.
Oh, yeah.
Because people know they can fucking get a reaction out of him.
Well, yeah, and he's blowing up. Like, his podcast with his brother's already making bank, but now, like, ESPN just offered him a late night show, like a Letterman show on ESPN. It's going to be massive. It is.
Yeah, no, and it's a good podcast, and he's talented. So I mean,
get that money.
Yeah, I mean, but it's going to increase those things,
right?
You
And
know?
I don't want to drag the conversation out. The guy was in the wrong. He shouldn't have done it. Jason Kelce is a public figure and probably should know people are going to try to do this stuff to him. But at the same time, I don't think there's a single person that saw that video and heard what that guy said that was on that guy's side. And I really hope this is a lesson for anybody out there who goes out of their way to be an a-hole, that, people can react to you being an a-hole.
Yeah, reasonable people think that's okay. But again, there's the portion of people that are like, all right, there's money because I'm going to get a fucking reaction out of that guy.
Yep.
You know?
So he'll probably do a little training and try to not have that reaction in the future. But again, he's going to have so much money, I don't think he'll care about paying people out.
No, you can pay him
At
out.
some point, you have enough money.
He's doing well anyway.
Care.
He's doing what, how much money do you make from being the best center in the NFL history? Maybe.
I mean, NFL money was big, but then his podcast money. Now he's got the ESPN money. Like,
he can
whatever.
buy a phone. He can buy a phone.
He can buy that guy 100 phones and not even like wince at the thought of it. Could you imagine
That's
having
fuck
that
you
kind
money
of money
right there?
Yes.
That's
there's
exactly.
a certain point where you have the FU money.
That's
you know what
honestly
I mean?
what a dream. What a dream. I'd like to use that, man. I'd like to use that money on a few people.
Man.
Anyway, that's totally justifiable. So let's move on to something that is not justifiable and became the topic for today's podcast based on last podcast, where I thought you had posted a Facebook post. And what was it? Very quickly, run through the story, because I thought something else.
So I was at a light, and it was red, and a guy was trying to pull out of a business. And so I stopped to let him out because the light was red, and I was trying to be a nice guy. And the lady behind me just starts losing it, like honking her horn, screaming at me. Like, just you could tell she was super angry. Again, we're not going anywhere. It's a red light. So I turned, and I just decided to start flipping her off. And then next thing I know, she flips me off, which rightfully so. I threw her the bird. She's going to throw it back. That's okay. To me, that's just saying hello in a Michigan way.
Exactly.
But then all of a sudden, she went from like flipping me off to the hand gesture with the V and the tongue going.
Oh, she did the what was that movie? Kingpin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was how I learned that I'm good at flirting, because I was able to escalate the situation into that.
Yep.
But yeah, so you got all pissed off at me.
I was trying to sit in here internalizing if you had actually not followed the law by letting this person in. But I mean, it's a red light. You can let people out if it's a red light. It happens all the time.
Right. You thought it was green
No.
when I told this
Well,
story.
here's the thing. I don't in any like form of like free flow traffic. This is the biggest pet peeve I have while driving. What I thought it was is you would let somebody out when you shouldn't because whatever. There's so many people, especially in this region of northern Michigan, once you get into like small towns where somebody's crossing the street and they'll just stop. There's no pedestrian crosswalk or anything, or they're stopped waiting to cross the street. and people will stop traffic to let people go by, or stop traffic to let somebody out.
Okay, I will say though, if somebody's walking across this street,
If they're walking across and you have to stop,
have to stop.
That's okay. That's why I tried to change it to waiting.
What if that was the law? You don't have to stop if they walk out in front of you.
Man, that'd be glorious. What a nice twist on life that'd be, right?
And you don't have to. You just hit them and you go. You don't have to stop.
It's there's something it's really nice, and I appreciate people for being nice and doing kind gestures, but there's a way to do that on the road without
It's safety for the drivers behind you. If
safety.
you slam on your brakes and the guy behind you has to slam and the guy behind him isn't paying attention, you got an accident.
It's safety. Yeah. It's against the law. You're ruining everything. You are ruining everything.
I feel like in my situation it was okay because it was a red light.
That's way more acceptable.
Right.
But
yeah, I just that whole situation, man, it escalated so quickly. And again, I guess it comes down to, did I really need to start flipping her off, or should I just want to? Because I mean, again, was it worth getting shot in the face? Road rage causes so many types of violence with weapons and stuff like that. Was me getting a laugh out of flipping her off worth getting shot in the face? Probably not.
My go-to, because I've really reduced the amount of rage I have while I'm driving anymore. I'm way better at just going with the flow, and not really getting upset. My go-to move now is when somebody does something stupid like that and they're ruining everything. I just throw my hands up. I don't honk. I just throw my hands up in the air and go, oh! Okay. Let's just kind of do that.
I like that. The one that my wife and I do, and it makes it super awkward, is when you're driving and you're already going over the speed limit, but somebody still wants to whip around you or pass you, just flying by, right? And then they get to the red light first. We usually literally will pull up behind them, roll our windows down, and we'll both start clapping, going, way to get to the red light first. Good job.
That is a form of road rage. You know that, right?
What?
It's a form of road rage.
Us clapping?
Yeah.
No.
Of course it is.
No, we're proud of them. They got to the red light first.
Do you hate people that pass you?
I don't. I just think when I'm already going over the speed limit, you see a light up ahead is already yellow. Why bother?
Because once you get past, here's how I look at it. I do my set speed is 62.
Okay.
It's 5. I go 5 to 7 over. You're not getting pulled over, right?
Yeah.
If I had the same situation, if somebody's speeding going 59 or whatever, and you're going past them, and there's a light right there coming up, but eventually you're going to be further than them, and you're still going to do your preferred speed.
True. I'm not disagreeing. I just think it's fun to clap for them because they got stuck at the red light just like I did.
A-hole. If you can see, if I saw you clapping, I would probably laugh. I would probably be like, "You're welcome, thank you very much."
We do it together though. Like me and my wife are both just clapping, and we roll the windows down so they can hear us. We're just like, "Way to get to the red light first! Good job!"
Your wife and you together are just the biggest pair of antagonists I could possibly imagine.
She brings out the evil in me, and I appreciate that.
It's impressive. I think it's really nice. So stop doing that. That's the point of that story.
Fine.
All right. Just a quick segment. That's Smith's pet peeves.
There, I like that. That's
Smith's pet peeves.
Can we get touchy-feely with our next story? Did he follow up?
Oh, well.
I guess touchy-feely was a bad choice of words.
Hopefully, pun unfortunately not intended, or fortunately not intended.
No, it was
or what?
intended, but now I feel bad for even saying it.
I know we talked about this a little bit. We talked about Diddy's humongous predicament that he is in.
Alleged.
We were wondering about what he's eating in prison, or Cartman saw something about the meals in prison.
Yeah, well, the reason
I felt really bad for calling you Cartman right then.
That's all right.
I was like, damn it, it's Brian and Nate Smith.
The reason that this jumped out at me, okay, so here's a guy who's allegedly involved in some really horrible
Terrible.
stuff. Right?
Horrible.
I
wanted to amend this. We were talking about that podcast. We talked about that whole thing, and it never really even dawned on me that it was underage women so we can put pedophile on that fucking list because it didn't even really dawn on me while we were talking about that was the main crux of that story.
Yep.
So let's continue, shall we?
The reason it jumped out at me when I saw this article about what he was eating for prison, this is a man who was worth $1 billion just 2 months ago, living like a billionaire.
Yeah.
Flying on private jets and going to lavish parties.
Eating
right?
caviar, drinking champagne, living
Yes.
lifestyles of the rich and famous.
I mean, $1 billion net worth is such an incredible number. But they put up that he just turned 55 in jail. He keeps getting denied bail. And so he spent his birthday in there, and they talked about what he got to eat on his birthday. Which, by the way, they don't bring you a cake in prison, so that's not on the list here. how weird would that be? How weird would it be if they did bring a cake to you on your birthday in prison?
Well, there probably is that whole like story for a reason where a file and a cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody's bringing somebody cakes in prison, maybe.
So here's what they said he ate on his birthday. For breakfast, he had a choice of biscuits and gravy, oven brown potatoes, bread, and oatmeal. Which actually sounds like a decent spread for breakfast. For lunch, they upgraded to cheese pizza, and they had an Italian pasta salad with green beans.
Sounds like a nice halfway decent meal.
And then dinner options are chicken or tofu fried rice with black beans and carrots.
The tofu fried rice thing is hilarious.
Okay, so
it's only hilarious because you have that thing in your head that prisoners don't deserve nice things. At least I have had it historically.
Right.
They're in prison. They shouldn't eat that good tofu. It's not good. You know what I mean? It's just for people that don't like fucking meat.
And I'm sure it's not the highest quality food, no matter what it says here about it being, he had a choice of biscuits and gravy. Well, I'm sure it's not high-end biscuits and gravy here.
Can you imagine a world where you're choosing tofu over biscuits and gravy, by the way?
No, I can't.
Okay.
No, there's no world. But I was looking at that and I'm thinking, growing up in my head, they always showed prisoners eating bread and a cup of water. Yeah. And so, even though I know that's probably not the case.
Well, that probably was the case.
Maybe it was back
in
the day, but I know it's not the case now. But in my mind, because of what I was trained by TV shows and movies, that's what prisoners got, to see this spread of food that Diddy is eating while in prison. I'm like, wait, that sounds too nice for him. It kind of caught me off guard. It really threw me off a little bit.
Well, we got thinking about what people actually had on their last meal.
Yeah, these are
Diddy's not on death row yet. I don't think I don't even know if death penalty
there is some stuff
in New York
there about murder that's being talked about right now.
Well, I don't know. New York does not have the death penalty, as far as I know.
Okay.
But
he has residence in California and Florida.
Some of these could be federal crimes. For who knows? They could charge him federally on a lot of stuff, which could.
Well, and I don't know how much validity that there is to this, but I did read something that said one of the reasons the FBI finally came cracking down on him is supposedly Jamie Foxx reported him as the reason he ended up in the hospital, because he said he was being poisoned by Diddy.
Holy shit.
Again, this is alleged. This is stuff that I've seen online, but I've seen it from multiple sources. But Diddy has been, for years, people have been talking about people that died around him, and that it was the symptoms of their death were revolved around poisoning.
Yeah.
So it, again, is such a alleged leap here, but it's possible.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tangled web.
Inmates, man.
These are all famous people that have died. Serial killer in this case, John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
What was his? He had KFC, French fries, pound of strawberries, and 12 fried shrimp.
Could you? I'm okay. No slight to KFC at all. But really, that's your last meal? That's what you go with?
Do you know what mine would be?
Bucket of chicken.
I've thought about this. If it were me, it'll sound stupid. I'm sure.
Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly, but I got to make it. Give me the things. It's easily the food I've eaten most my entire life.
Is it like your favorite go-to?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's just, you give me the things. It's got to be Jif and it's got to be Smuckers and all those things. And just let me have like a couple peanut butter jelly sandwiches and some potato chips.
How many nights did you come home hammered and just make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Oh, man, uncountable. It's uncountable.
Like the go-to?
But here's the thing. I'm doing better. I've switched to natural peanut butter now. I don't eat it that much anymore, and I eat it way less. Like
so not as much sugar.
Right. I've eaten way less peanut butter. I go months without it sometimes. I'm trying to rein that in.
Give him an applause. Here, me and my wife. Good job, Smitty. Way to change the peanut butter.
You condescending fifers. Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, Mr. McVeigh. I don't want to call him Mr. Terrorist behind Oklahoma City bombing.
Or I would go with this route, too. 2 pints of mint chocolate ice cream. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
It would be a different ice cream, but just I would gorge the shit out of myself on ice cream.
Definitely went all out on that one.
Who is Ricky Ray Rector?
I don't know. It should say what he did under the photo. Look at the plate. They took a photo of his.
I don't know if this is actually his, but there's pecan pie. Looks like there's some kind of red liquidy substance. Could be Kool-Aid.
Like a
Fried
nice
chicken.
steak.
Is that steak?
Yeah.
Maybe pork chop?
Looks very fancy. He had murdered 2 people, it looks like. 2 counts
in
of
Arkansas.
murder. Oh, he had cherry Kool-Aid.
That's what it was. It was Kool-Aid.
That
pecan
was
pie.
it, yeah.
This
Wait.
is kind of
Go back up. What did that say? It said something about... Hold on. He left the pecan pie behind. He didn't eat it, telling the guard he was saving it for later.
What a great move. What a great move.
It is a little bit badass.
Oh, man, because that guard is going to think about that shit the rest of his life.
I'm going to think about it from this point
Saving it
going
for
forward.
later. Saving it for later. Especially, you got it, depending on what inflection he put on it when he said it.
Yeah.
Saving it for later.
Damn.
All right, this is kind of more, but I don't really give a shit.
There's one more. You got to scroll down because I thought it was
Steven
interesting.
Anderson.
No, skip him.
Oh, it's probably pronounced
Skip Angel.
Angel.
Skip Angel.
What the hell?
He asked for nothing. Okay.
Ronnie Lee
this guy.
Gardner?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
Ronnie Lee Gardner?
I don't know. You got to scroll down.
He's got
We'll read what he
lobster
did.
and steak. Looks like he was put to death in Utah by a firing squad.
Dude, firing squad. What a choice to go out. But look what he had. He had lobster tail, steak, apple pie, vanilla ice cream, and he got to eat it all while watching the Lord of the Rings
pretty badass.
trilogy.
I mean, we're sitting here laughing about it, but it's not the nicest thing.
No,
in
I'm
the
not
world.
laughing about the fact that the dude
I
was put
know.
to death or that somebody else died. I'm laughing that he got to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I know. And
I would have picked
I
Harry
was too.
Potter. There's 7 of those movies.
We gotta start this last meal 2 days before the execution because we got to get in Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings extended edition because it's got to be extended edition for Lord of the Rings.
Can you imagine, like, he's watching the movie, it's running late, they're like, dude, we really got to get to this, and he's like, come on, guys, you got to let me finish. All right, we'll call and ask the governor if he could give you, like, a 10-minute stay so that you can finish the movie. Like, that's so weird, dude.
Behind the scenes?
I didn't even know you got to watch movies on your last day in prison. That's a new one for me. So
You say got to, like it's like it's this grand like ask, you know?
if you're going out and you get to watch a movie, I think I think it is a little bit extra. A lot of places did away with last meals. They don't even do it in a lot of states anymore. Last meals are no longer a thing. They eat what the other prisoners ate on the day that they die, and that's
Really?
it.
It's kind of
Yeah.
bullshit.
They got rid of it. It's
kind
not
of
a thing.
bullshit.
Yeah.
That's really kind of bullshit.
It's not a
I
thing.
feel like it is.
I
I want to do some research on that. I want to look up what state, but I'm not going to do that
I
right
think
now.
there's multiple, but yeah, we could look that up another time.
Yeah, that covers that. You know,
Is
We've
it
talked
is
about-
it is it time to talk about one of the greatest movies ever?
you know, every once in a while, you go into a movie and you're like, "There's no way I'm going to like this," you know, and then you watch it and you're like, "Man, I was totally wrong. That was one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, and this was not one of those
I
places."
knew it. I knew you were setting me up with that.
Look, because I know you like some good things as far as shows and movies, I'm not going to necessarily judge your taste as a human. But man, The best thing about that movie was when Dane Cook got punched in the face. The best actor in that movie is the super hot main squeeze chick. She's the best actor, and it wasn't even close by far. It was, I don't want to take a dump on something you like, but you asked me to watch it. This
was your homework. It was the movie Torque.
Some of the worst writing I've ever seen in my life. Some of the worst action sequences I've ever seen in my entire life. The cuts, the sound editing, the acting was horrible.
I'm sorry.
All of it was horrible.
Wait. In the movie Torque, they have a ninja fight with their motorcycles.
Yeah, I know.
It was amazing and unbelievable. Man. Hell yes.
I try to get into like people's headspaces of things they like, and it's got to be the same when I like what I consider to be movies that I like, and what some people would consider to be cheesy. Like Roadhouse goes into that category. Like there's cheese to it. There's cheese to it, but there's a sincerity about it that's cool, and the writing is, but there's but it was like taking all the worst cheesy parts about Roadhouse, and that's it.
Yeah.
As far as this, no, man.
Yes.
No.
Let me explain.
I don't understand you people. You and McTighe are like the same too when it comes to like garbage movies. It's like you say you watch them because it's so bad it's hilarious or awesome.
Yeah.
I can't even do that. I don't like that. I don't want to watch bad movies. I don't want to watch good things.
Well, let me explain a little something. I will say this. When I was 18, Fast and Furious came out, and I know you hate those movies. The first one was really good.
I watched the first one, and I was like, eh. And then
it's a remake of Point Break.
Absolutely. Then I watched the Tokyo Drift one, and I was like, eh. And that was it. That was all I needed to see. I didn't care about any of the other stuff.
Okay.
It's like I haven't watched The Expendables, and I haven't watched it for a good reason. Like, I don't give a shit about like action for action's sake, dude. It's just not what I want to watch.
Well, the reason I brought that up though is because like that was such a big movie, dude. And when you're 18, you know how a lot of that stuff will shape your taste and what you like in life. So when a few years later they released the motorcycle version of Fast and Furious, which is Torque in my mind, I was all about it. And what's funny is the main bad guy from Torque is one of Vin Diesel's crew in the Fast and Furious movies. Not the character, but the actor.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it could only get worse because it was awful. Everybody was awful.
Jamie
Presley's in it,
yeah.
and all she does is this dumb, like, lip-licking thing. It is, honestly, those cuts between, like, action sequences and things happening, it's just like, boom, boom, boom. It's some of the laziest garbage filmmaking I could possibly imagine. I tried to put myself in the headspace of you when I was watching this thing, and I'm like, what do you see in this movie? Like, what good can possibly be in this movie? And I'm like, I know kind of where you were at musically in 2004 when this came out, and the soundtrack was garbage, but it was probably right up your alley. I'm like, thankfully, Kid Rock. I was thinking, man, I'm glad Kid Rock's not in this movie. That Kid Rock showed up in the soundtrack,
one.
But he's in the soundtrack. He's in the soundtrack, and then they closed it out with Nickelback, like right at the end, just to make everything worse.
I don't even remember that. I don't remember that.
Everything worse. When was the last time you watched it?
It's been a few years. I need to rewatch it now.
Yeah, Coates. Okay, so here's your homework assignment. Maybe not whenever. It's just an addendum to this. Watch it, and then try to watch it with like an older man's perspective, because there's all sorts of movies and music too now that I revisit that I used to like, that I'm like, it just does not hit the same. It's not as good anymore.
Did you just call me old man?
Yeah, you're middle-aged.
I do not like
you
anymore.
Middle-aged.
I quit this podcast.
How old are you? How old are you?
32.
How old are you?
32.
How old are you in real life?
32.
How old are you in the Smith hole?
41.
That's middle-aged. You're old.
Honestly, if you look at the average age of death of men, I'm more than middle-aged.
Watch that garbage movie with some of your old man wisdom that you hopefully have gotten.
Dude, I'm going to love it as soon as they start fighting with their bikes.
Oh, my God. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's honestly, I can say it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I wish this was a little part of me wish this was a video podcast, because the faces that you make as you speak of this really elevate what we're talking about. Like, I wish I could put into words. It's like your whole face is contorting out of being annoyed that you watched it, annoyed that you have to talk about it, and annoyed that now I'm going to rewatch it and we're going to have to talk about it again.
I didn't really think about that last part, but the rest is pretty true. Just imagine somebody that talking about something they generally don't want to fucking talk about, and hey, like I want to watch good things. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to give you movies that you'll like. What part of you thought I would like that movie?
Do you want the honest answer?
Yeah.
None. Not a single part of me thought that you were going to like that movie.
I mean, I know it exists. I was like, oh my God. I told you yesterday, and I meant it, because I was like, what am I? I'm not watching football. I recorded it or watched it yesterday on Sunday, and football was going on at like 1 o'clock, and I was like, man, I don't want to watch football. I'll watch this movie tonight. It'll help to get drunk, get myself drunk, so I can sit with this last hour of this thankfully only hour 20 long movie. Man, sorry.
By the way, Britney Spears has a whole video that revolves around the main guy sitting on his motorcycle, and she's singing to him. I'm surprised it wasn't in the movie, because I thought for sure you'd be like, oh, that Britney girl was in it too.
I didn't see Britney Spears.
Ugh. I love that movie. It's so bad, it's good. It's so bad, it's good.
I went and looked at IMDb comments on it just to see if I felt validated. And I usually don't give a shit about like critics and things and reviews, but I mean, they were overall horrible. Like I think it was rated like 4 out of 10 or something like that. 4 stars out of 10.
Solid for IMDb.
And some person commented on the comment section, and they were like, "It's a B movie. Relax. It is not a B movie. A B movie." Can still have good writing and good things. Plus, there was a pretty decent budget for this movie. It just looked like people messed it up.
Yeah, it was not a B movie. It was released, a wide cinema release.
Had Ice Cube in it, who was just mean, mad all the time, and but then bro hugged it out afterwards. Like I'm like, dude, shut up. Everything in this movie was the most unrealistic, dumb, like movie trope, action movie trope I can possibly imagine.
It's doing it again. It's like it's contorting and look. I can't explain it other than it's like your face is pulling 4 different directions because it wants to just leave the discussion.
That's probably what happens when my Bell's palsy is activated by shit I don't like. My face just goes in all sorts of different directions. Oh man, that's what that is.
Oh man.
So anyway, let's not talk about this movie anymore until you watch it again, and then come back at me with some real honest perspective on it.
I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to write everything I love and hate about the movie. But I guarantee you the hate and the love is going to be very outweighed with love. There's just going to be so much I love about it. Because, again, I do love movies that are bad. Like, one example, Dead Snow. Stupidest idea for a movie ever. Zombie Nazi soldiers that are back from the dead to get some kind of treasure you never see. But it's so mind-numbingly stupid, and the action is so mind-numbingly stupid that I love it.
I can't do it. Every time I try to watch one of those bad movies, I just get in and I'm just like, I can't do it. I want to see good writing and think. Now, again, there's a lot of movies that I like that I'm sure some people would be like, sucks. You know what I mean?
Dead Snow just got added to your list.
What? No.
Yes, you're watching it. 100%.
All right, just for that, I'm giving you another homework assignment. I know we're waiting on you to watch House on Haunted Hill on Netflix.
Yes.
But that's just one of those things like Ted Lasso where it's just going to be like whenever we get to it. But I don't know where this is streaming right now, but because you gave me that movie, I'm going to give you the complete opposite.
Okay.
Banshees of Inisherin. The Banshees of Inisherin has Brendan Gleeson from Braveheart and many other things, and Colin Farrell, that plays the Penguin, and it's in Ireland, set in Ireland on this island. And watch it with subtitles on because it's thick as shit Irish accents.
Okay.
But it's hilarious. And it has the most insane scenario of friendship that you will ever see in your life. It is super interesting. It's super funny. And but you want to talk about different vibes. It's a way different vibe than torque.
All right. All right. I'm in.
Okay?
Yep. By the way, I don't know how to spell that. You're gonna have to message me that
I will.
name.
I will. Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. I think that's it. Oh, episode 4 will include season 2 Ted Lasso talk. Will include Robin Wright Penn justifying Jenny to internet a-holes. That's the only way to put that.
Yeah.
And then
the thing that'll make you feel like a clown for getting up and going to work every single day of your life.
yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it.
Yep. That's all coming up. Episode 4 of the Smartman Show podcast. This is where we would do the comment section naturally, but there's no comments to talk about yet. So,
but we did get a lot of snail mail, handwritten letters that were sent to us telling us how great we are.
why didn't you bring those in?
Thousands. Too much, dude. I couldn't carry it up the steps.
Dude. Bring those in next time, okay? And we'll read letters.
I'm lying, Smitty.
Damn it, man. Damn it, Jim. Theater of the mind.